everybody, I'm Katie. Welcome back to my kitchen. It's been a long time since the last time. I hope you had a great summer. Now it's time for work. So what do you say? Let's start painting again. Okay, today's recipe calls for a very classic, traditional recipe. It's called galactoboureko. It's totally Greek. And if you want my translation for that, it's a simple milk pie. Not very simple. There's a few ingredients. I'm going to give you the custard first, so we're going to see the ingredients right away. This is what we're going to need. A little bit of butter, 2 cups of samolina, 1 cup of sugar, 2 whole eggs, some whole milk. Those are the ingredients, guys, for our custard. Before we start, because this is going to go into our stove, we're going to make a cream, a custard, okay? A classic cream. I want you to get absolutely a good filo, okay? Not filo for spanakopita. I want you to get a filo for baklava. Everybody knows baklava. That's the filo that you're going to get, okay? We're going to use both of the sheets. So let's get started right away. Okay, we're going to pour, this is a liter of whole milk. You can use skim milk, but you're not going to get the perfect texture. I want a nice, thick, creamy, velvety texture from my custard. So the milk is going in. It's a really easy recipe. There are a few steps, but it's not hard. Now we're putting in our samolina. Right now, that's 2 cups, 1 cup of sugar, that's going in, and a tablespoon of butter. And we're going to put this on a stove, or on our stove on high, and with our whisk constantly, let me put the light on, until my cream has thickened. As the temperature rises, this is going to be thickening. Make sure that you put all your ingredients just like I showed you at once. Don't wait for the milk to warm, because if you're going to pour in your semolina, you're going to get little balls, and we don't like that. If you don't have semolina where you live, you can use, of course, custard powder. It won't be the same, but it'll be fine. So we're going to wait for this to come to a boil. Okay, come up close, cameraman, so you can see how I want the custard to be. I want it to be thick, but not too thick, because as this cools, it's going to be getting thicker, okay? We're going to take it off our stove, and now very quickly, I have my 2 eggs, which I'm going to beat very well. This is going to give it a really deep flavor. If you don't want to put the eggs in, it's totally fine. You don't have to. But it will give it a richer flavor. You could put 1 egg instead of 2. Okay, not all at once. Constantly stirring the custard, just like when we make roux, okay? Really quickly. Combine your egg with the custard very well, a little at a time. Don't worry, the pot's not going to go anywhere. I'm under control. Okay, let me get my towel here. Sorry about the noise. But it is a live kitchen, and in kitchens we make noise. Okay, that's perfect. And before this goes into the filo, very crucial, guys, it has to be totally cooled. If you pour this custard into the filo right now, you're going to get mud. You're not going to be able to understand that you're eating filo. It's going to get this really saggy, like a sheet texture, and we don't want that. Let's pour in the rest. Now, how easy was that? It's almost like my roux recipe for the moussaka or the pasticcio. But we don't have corn flour here. We have samolina. Okay. Okay, now it's time so we can butter our filo, okay? What we're going to need is some soft butter. I had this at room temperature just for it to become, so we can warm it up a lot faster. So we're going to put it on our pan, warm it up, and start placing our filo on our baking pan. Make sure you don't burn it because it does have a tendency, fresh butter, to burn very, very easily. Okay, my butter has melted perfectly, and come up close so I can show you my filo. This is one package, okay? The other one is here. We're going to use that on top. And all I did was cut the filo. It was about this big. I cut it in half because my pan is small. And very important, you're going to cover it until you use them. Every time you use a sheet, you're going to cover it with a towel. And all I'm going to do here, definitely you're going to butter your pan. Now this is step 2. Okay, we did the custard. That was step 1. This is step 2. And the third step, after we've layered our filo and we've placed our custard into our pan, we're going to bake it. And at this point, I forgot to say, you're going to preheat your oven at 350 Fahrenheit, 180 Celsius. Nice hot oven once again. I missed saying that. And this is going to be baking for at least an hour, 45 minutes to an hour according to your oven. Okay. And step 3 is our syrup. Once we get there, I'm going to show you how we're going to make it so you don't get mixed up with all these ingredients, okay? And a little bit more. Okay, and now we are ready to place our sheets. One at a time. Let's see. Okay. And again, you're going to butter each and every individual filo. This is very important. You can't put your filo one on top of the other without putting some butter on them. Okay, this is what's going to make it nice and crispy and golden. So one package is going to go on the bottom, and so I don't use your time. I'm going to finish with the rest, and we'll be back so I can put the custard on top. Okay, I've placed all my filo on my pan, and now we're ready to put it in our custard. And like I said, it has to be cooled. And for all pies, all Greek pies, well, at least that's the way I do it. I want even amounts of cream, even amounts of filo. I don't want one overlapping the other. And if you have any leftovers which you won't from the custard, you can have it for breakfast. Beautiful cream. This is a serving for 6 people. If you want double the amounts, you're just going to double the amounts. Okay. And we're going to do exactly what we did in the beginning. We're going to put the rest of the filo on top. And let's move on to our last filo. That's it. I mean, the only time-consuming part, I guess, is the custard, which isn't really, but anyway. butter it very well on top. And once I put this in the oven, we're going to start making our syrup, which is basically sugar, water, and a little bit of lemon zest. Because once this comes out, we have to put the syrup on top. The syrup has to be cold, and our galactoboureko has to be hot. Unless you want the other way around. If you want it the other way around, it's absolutely fine. But one has to be cold, the other has to be hot for the syrup to be absorbed totally for the from the galactoboureko. And again, like I said, this is going to be baking for about 45 minutes to an hour. It's a 6-serving dessert. Very classical dessert. It's a milk pie. Okay, now watch what we're going to do from now. From the beginning, we're going to cut not all the way through, not all the way down. Okay, you're going to be feeling the filo that I'm cutting off, just the filo on top. Let me see, here, there, here. Okay. Make sure your knife has teeth. And again, not all the way through. This way the air can go through my custard all the way down to my other filo, and they could be cooked perfectly, baked. Okay, that's it. We're going to put this baby in, and it's going to be baking for about 45 minutes to an hour, and we're going to get started with our syrup. Okay, we are ready for our syrup, and what we're going to need for the syrup is 2 cups of sugar and 2 cups of water and the zest of a lemon. Okay, so we're going to pour in our water. And here's the tip of the day. When you're making syrup like this for baklava or for what we're making today, galactoboureko, once you put it on your stove, you are not going to stir it again. Okay, this is going to be boiling for approximately 15 to 20 minutes. Make sure your lemon is organic. And like I've said in a previous video, if it's not, just boil some water, just in case it has wax out on the outside. That's what I mean. You're going to boil some water and you're just going to dip them in there, and there it is. You don't have any more wax on your fruit or your lemons. This is going to give it a really nice freshness because we do have eggs, and we don't want it to overwhelm our taste for the flavor of the galactoboureko. Okay, I think that's it. On a high temperature, your stove, and at this point I'm just going to give it a stir right now, not later on, okay? This way it won't crystallize. Combine everything together. If you like cinnamon, you put a cinnamon stick inside, that's fine. But galactoboureko, the flavor is just the butter. That's what it's all about. Cream and butter. That's it. We're going to put this on the stove on high. And this is going to be boiling, like I said, for about 15 to 20 minutes. 45 minutes are up, and our galactoboureko is ready to come out of the oven. Let's go get it. And like I said before, we have to wait now. Beautiful. It's puffed up perfectly. We're going to have to wait for the syrup to cool so we can pour the syrup up on top. Okay, guys, it's time for us to put the syrup on the galactoboureko. But before I do that, I'm really proud of it. So I want you to come up close and see the individual, how, you know, the filo are separated. That's the way it should be. It should not be one big, thick, filo, okay? That's perfection. And now slowly, since my syrup has cooled, Each piece very slowly. Don't take your pot and just throw it on top, okay? You're going to get mud. And of course, before you serve this, it has to cool again because it's going to be soup on a plate. And that's not nice. I know it seems a lot, the syrup, but it's not. This is going to be absorbed. It needs about half an hour for all the syrup to be absorbed totally from the galactoboureko. Don't forget the edges. This is the right way. Be patient with your dessert because it is worth the while. And did you know that this recipe is detox? It's a detox for your spirit and your soul. I mean, you don't make galactoboureko every day, but when you make it once, twice a year, make it the right way. Don't get the skim milk. Don't reduce your ingredients. Add 1 egg instead of 2. I mean, there's many ways you can make this. But it should have a rich, rich flavor. A little bit more. And like I said, we're going to wait for it to cool just a little bit so I can serve you a piece and you can see what it looks like. Okay, we're ready to dig in. Time is right now. And from what I can tell, it is perfection. And that first piece is for the cameraman. He did a good job. And that's the way your galactoboureko should look, guys. You can see the filo, you can see the cream and the filo on the bottom, the layers on the side. Well, that's the recipe for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Welcome back to my channel. And like always, I'm looking forward till next time. And of course, always remember, cooking brings people together. Bye.